Hello and welcome back. All right, so you see the title of this piece, right? We cannot distort truth. We can't screw it up. We can't damage it in any way. We can't fuck it up. And for that, let's all be very, very glad. Glad indeed. All right, so why choose that title for a short discussion? Well, we're in chapter 3, section 7 of the text, creating versus the self-image. We're going to look at this. We're doing paragraphs 3 and 4 here with this video. And there are a couple of ideas here that at first glance could possibly seem provocative to you, and maybe they do. If they do, so what, right? Doesn't make any difference. I always invite you to pay attention to how material hits you, right? Sometimes spiritual practice and spiritual texts, like this one, A Course in Miracles, get our attention. Sometimes there are things said that just grab us. So perhaps you've had that experience multiple times with this very material. And if you have, that's really good. That's a good experience. And I say that because it's important for us to consider these ideas. This course aims to completely reverse the thinking of the world, 180 degrees. So completely reverse the thinking of the world. And when you think about how powerful that is, when you think about the magnitude of that statement, completely reverse the thinking of the world, that's pretty profound indeed. That's exciting. I mean, if you don't think it's exciting, that's all right. But here you are. It is. It's exciting. It's exciting to think that the end of all of your insane wandering and mine, our insane wandering, is almost over, and that it's already over. We're awakening to that. That's very exciting indeed. So here in these two paragraphs, we're looking at truth and what we've made in opposition to truth. And this perceived separation between God and ourselves is not real. We know this. In eternity, it is not real, but it's real in time. In other words, it appears real in the world. There is no time. Eternity is timeless. There is no separation of any kind. That's truth. Here in the world, we believe that there is, and our belief has made it real. All beliefs are real to the believer. That explains the insane amount of conflict that we experience in the world, doesn't it? In many different arenas in life, you have people that believe that their way is the only way, and they're diametrically opposed to one another, and they do pitched battle and endanger the entire planet as a result of an ideological struggle, maybe as the result of a political struggle, as the result of a political and ideological struggle. But everyone defining and defending personal territory, making it real. And how do you get away from that? Well, set it aside, change your mind, clarify your perception. Do this course under the guidance of your inner teacher. That's how. Now, if you're practicing another spiritual tradition and that resonates with you and you connect with it, then go deeper with that tradition. There are plenty of people that use the ideas here in A Course in Miracles to help augment and illuminate their own walk. in another tradition, and that's absolutely fine. Remember, this is a self-study course. It is not the basis of a religion or a cult. And we can all be very happy about that. Very happy indeed. So we see the Garden of Eden make an appearance here. All I really want to say about that, and what Jesus says, is that any interpretation that has God and his creations capable of destroying their own purpose is in error. So the interpretation that I was taught is in clear error. And I knew that when they tried to shove it down my throat, figuratively, of course, as a small child. God wouldn't set up a system where Adam and Eve were going to go eat from the tree of knowledge and damage themselves and cause themselves to be condemned and cast out. Yeah, outcast, scum, sinner. I mean, really? No. Perfect love would never set that situation up. That's a clear error. Jesus said, right here, paragraph 3. And it's true, isn't it? I mean, why would perfect love ever put his creations in this kind of situation? It's not possible. On the other hand, we could certainly put ourselves in this situation, and we do it all the time. The Garden of Eden's a symbol. It's highly symbolic. And what is it symbolic of? Well, it's symbolic of the way we try to live our lives here. We try to self-create. In other words, we think we made ourselves. When we do this, we deny authorship with a capital A. We deny that God created us. We deny his authorship. And in so doing, we eat from the symbolic tree and throw ourselves out of the garden symbolically. And even though we could always go back, we banish ourselves forever and hang burdensome labels on ourselves like sinner. I mean, really. We do this to ourselves. The ego doesn't want us to acknowledge this. Therefore, resistance to these ideas may be very, very strong. Or perhaps not. Perhaps not. There are many people studying this course in the world that had a very similar experience to the one I had in Sunday school as a kid, sitting there thinking, no way. That's not possible. Perfect love would never do that. How do you reconcile what you're judging people as and saying right now? How do you reconcile that? I don't think you can. And sure enough, of course not. Perfect love would never do that. It's not possible. So let's take heart in that. And let's also take heart in truth, the truth that we did not create ourselves. Let's unburden ourselves of that notion. We can see ourselves here in the world as self-creating. In other words, we can perceive ourselves as self-creating and believe in it. You can believe, if you want to, that your parents made you, that they are responsible with their own body parts and reproductive glands and all of that for your life. You can think that they created you. Well, guess what? You're not this. They didn't create you. You didn't create them. If you're not a body, They didn't create you, but we can perceive that as so, can't we? We can believe in what we tell ourselves here in the world. And we do all the time. If we didn't, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't need this course. We'd already be awake. And this dialogue would never have taken place. Guess what? Never did. And we'll come back to that idea again and again and again. But we can perceive ourselves as self-creating, but no more than that. We can think that it's true, but we can't make it true. Hence the title of this piece. You can't fuck up the truth. We can't make it true. Just because people run around seeing themselves as a physical body, as a human being, man, woman, child, individual, just because we see ourselves as that, we perceive ourselves as that, doesn't make it true. We can believe whatever we want to believe, but it doesn't alter the truth at all. We cannot alter the truth. We can't change it. Again, title of the piece, we can't fuck it up. We can't. It simply is. Truth is. We can't make our perceptions true. We believe that we're an image of our own making. We are not. And for that, let's be really happy. Why do I keep saying that? Well, if it were true that we were images of our own making, then we would be condemned to perpetual warfare. We would be condemned to this cycle of suffering. And in Buddhism, it's referred to as cyclic existence again and again and again and again. Don't learn your lesson, get to come back. Don't learn your lesson, come on, get to come back again and again and again and again, again. Ad infinitum. We'd be stuck perpetually in that cycle if we were capable of self-creation. We'd get it wrong. I mean, we would most definitely get it wrong. We cannot. And truth simply is, despite all of our mad perceptions and ravings and wars, genocide, despite all of the injustices that we perpetrate on ourselves, on each other, in spite of all of that, truth remains completely unchanged. It simply is. God is. We cannot alter that, happily. We cannot change that, happily, again. There's a tremendous amount of accepting and allowing on the spiritual path. And really that's what we're doing with ideas like these, is we're allowing them to suffuse our mind. This is a course in mind training, and we need it. So that's why we see slight variations on the same general ideas over and over again. We're all adult learners, therefore stubborn. I mean, you may not consider yourself stubborn, but anyone that still appears to be here as one of these is definitely stubborn, right? So what we need is to hear these ideas again and again, and more importantly, to take them to heart and put them into practice, because all of spirituality is about practical experience. That's where we learn that the ideas that we're studying in a book are true. That's where we learn that what an image on your screen on YouTube is saying is in fact expressed by the Holy Spirit. It's true. I mean, don't take it from the image on your screen, take it from your inner teacher, who will tell you what to do, who will direct your forgiveness if you allow him to do so. It's about accepting and allowing, and it's very, very important. What's going on here is we're getting out of our own way. It is a very powerful way to set aside the ego, to allow your inner teacher to run the show, to direct your forgiveness, give your entire experience over to your inner teacher. Yeah, that's the practice. It sets the ego aside. And we're saying that, okay, I've done nothing but screw up again and again and again and again and again. I'd like to get it right this time. Please direct me. Or some variance on that. The actual words that you use, of course, that's up to you. That's the idea. And let's all be happy that we cannot alter truth. It simply is. And let's all reawaken to that. All right. Thank you, as always, for joining me. The subscription arrow, red arrow, is right here. Go ahead and hit that and subscribe if you've not done that already. Would love to have you here. Just a quick reminder that I will be starting my live stream, weekly live stream, this Saturday, the 11th of February, on my Patreon page. The link will be here in the comments to this video. That'll be a really good opportunity to have some one-on-one interaction time. And of course, I'll record and archive all of the conversations. I'm envisioning these as being up to an hour in length, where we can go a little bit deeper into the ideas from A Course in Miracles. And we'll start with true forgiveness, because that is the practical centerpiece of this entire course when it comes to putting it into practice. So we'll do that. And these videos, of course, will continue several times a week. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you very soon.